So pillars on F-150s and F-350s are a really soft plastic. You can see they kind of look like crap. What we're going to do is give them a quick polish, and then we're going to get paint protection film installed over top of them. So we're just in the middle of the decontamination. When they install paint protection film, it's a wet installation, so they spray it with a slip solution, usually baby soap, and then they'll place the film in place, squeegee it all out until it looks like it's not there, and that will prevent it from looking like this after a few washes. So the rest of the truck is still wet. We're about to do the clay on it, but we're gonna quickly get these taken care of. We're gonna polish them up before they put the film on it. Just the film will hide most scratches usually, but just on the off chance it doesn't, we like to get them looking good before the film goes on. So we'll polish it up, and then we're gonna continue claying, and then they should be here any minute to get the film on these pillars, and then we'll do a final wash just to get all of their solution off of the truck before we start polishing. So on the pillars here, we did our first step with Koch Chemie F601. It's just a medium cut compounding polish. And then our second step is Gyeon primer polish. And that'll just finish them up pretty nice. There's a couple deeper scratches. We don't really want to chase too far after, just to be safe. And the paint protection film, the adhesive on it's real thick, so it should settle into there and they'll come out looking perfect. I'll get this polished up and then we'll get film on it and I'll show you the results. Hey guys, Nick with Okanagan Detailing here. Behind me we have Jarrod from Solartech Films. He's just prepping the pillars so he can get some paint protection film on them. Let's see what you can do, Jarrod.
Alright. So when I get the pillar ready, I always spray my soap downwards to push all the dust down, if there was to be any on there.
That's a powerful trigger finger you got there.
Of course, years of practice. And then I want to place it onto the pillar, preferably the right way. Make sure all the edges are lined up before I squeegee them down. And then on these ones, since there's a aftermarket cover on them, I'm going to have to trim around it. So I'll anchor. Once I find a good point I want to start at, and then I just follow the edges. Kind of finesse it the way I want to. I'm not sure if these are expel or true cut or not. These don't fit as good as these. Front ones do.
So what are you spraying underneath?
I'm spraying a mix of just water and baby soap. But these are sticky enough. Usually we use alcohol, which is that, alcohol and water, but
And
these
the
are
alcohol just promotes the adhesive?
yeah, alcohol promotes the adhesive, so you kind of use alcohol to anchor. But with these, they're so sticky and they're dark black, so you kind of want to choose baby soap because alcohol can leave more marks. So I'm pretty much just using full baby soap on these ones. But they're so sticky, it works fine. Usually it doesn't work. Usually it'll be too loose to stick. But this one's working. And you go over it after you dry it off and look for any pieces of dust that would be in there. See a little one at the bottom here, so I'm going to lift it up and pull it out. I'm going to use baby soap to loosen up the dust a bit. And you kind of just pull at it with a fingernail. And check if you got it, and it should be going. And it is going. Now there's no dust in it. This pillar's on. As easy as that.
So I know films come a long way in the last while here. How do you know on average how long it takes for a film to start yellowing and need to be replaced?
It's mostly just with the older, like old 3M and like old Expel, stuff like that will turn yellow. But this is Suntech, so it actually should never turn yellow. It's got a lifetime warranty. Honestly, I've seen Suntech, it's good for a lifetime. We got lifetime warranty on Suntech. I don't think it'll ever go yellow. I'm just gonna grab another claw. That's the old film. Old film turns yellow in like 2 years.
Yeah. We've pulled a lot of dirty yellow old film off vehicles. I have noticed that even the factory film on newer vehicles still will get yellow.
Oh yeah, because they use
pretty quickly.
really cheap film. depends. There's a lot of brands like out of China too. Like I'm not sure, but they're a lot cheaper than like the ones we get locally here. And I'm not sure how they hold up over the years, but I'd say regularly like 3 years you'll start to notice yellowing if it's not very good film. And then when I trim out this corner, I have to use a carbon blade because steel blades just aren't sharp enough for how light I have to push. So I'm just gonna score the film with this, and then I follow the outline.
So you don't cut entirely through, so you don't damage anything underneath. You just score it and peel, and it follows that line.
Yep. Ideally, if it doesn't go through, it'll create a rip and jagged lines, but as long as it's a nice cut, it shouldn't do that. And I use a flashlight because I can actually see the white line that I'm leaving in the film, so I can tell where I'm trimming. And then if it gets a little jagged on that, where it's loose there, I can jam it up there and correct it. Probably took me a whole year trimming to get comfortable with that. Just trim on this black. This black's way scarier to trim on than paint. Cause like even like if I go through a little bit on paint, like if it's a light, you'll never see the line, but on black, like you'll see the line instantly.
Yeah. Before we found you guys, we have seen a lot of very bad film installs and a lot where they cut on the paint and cut right through, and it's deeper than we could polish out.
Oh yeah.
And it doesn't take much to go deeper than the thickness of the paint.
We see that a lot at Solartech too. Like when we're peeling cars from other body shops, like or even places like not from around here, like from out of the
Yeah, we
BC.
get a lot of Vancouver cars just because they buy them down there and drive here, and they come to get a coating, and they'll have old film or just crappily installed film, and we'll get it replaced. And when we're peeling the old stuff, it looks like the film's still on because there's nice big cut lines there. So.
Yep. And that's when you know that they have anyone trimming. They don't care. They don't take the time to be precise. These lights that you got us actually work so good.
All right.
Yeah. I love them. They're so much brighter than a foam light.
Yeah.
So I can actually see what I'm doing. So this pillar didn't fit as good as the other one, so there's actually...
So when I install these myself, that's a problem I always run into. Just because it doesn't require any stretch. It's actually almost nice when they fit a little bit small.
Oh yeah.
Especially because they're so easy, you just stretch it to fit.
So nice.
And I'm not kind of qualified enough to cut on paint, so unless it's a really straightforward install, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, a lot of times you can trim on the glass before you put them on, if you can anticipate them being smaller. Like I do that all the time usually.
Just take a couple mils off the bottom just to make sure, and then you can always stretch it to fit if it's too small.
Yeah, that's exactly. I did a Kia this morning that we did all the BNC pillars on it, and I trimmed the edge down before I put them on, and like the top.
That's one time I had one with the whole length of the edge, and all I did just peel it off, and then ended up getting. I think I got you guys to do it because it's out of my wheelhouse.
It's scary. All right, just one pillar left. Same process for all of them though. Just cut out the.
Last question I have is, how did you get so good at your job?
Because I learned from the best PPF installer in Kelowna, which is Jonas at Solartech. And he trained me for the past 2 years.